Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. I am Andrea Triviano. I'm the Workforce Development Specialist with the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association. And today we're kicking off our Wednesday webinar sessions for the month of September. And first up is Rebecca Berry. She is with the National Restaurant Association. And she will provide us some information on a great training tool, which is ServSuccess. I will let her go through what ServSuccess is, and I'm sure she's going to share amazing content with you along with some instructions on how to log in, how to reach out to her, if you're interested, etc. So I will pass it on to Rebecca.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. And thank you all of the members for having me today. It is such a pleasure to join the PRLA. You all are some of my favorite people to be with, but don't tell the others. As Andrea said, I am the Senior Manager for Career and Workforce Advancement for the National Restaurant Association, and I lead up our ServSuccess program. ServSuccess is all about elevating your team and your Pennsylvania workforce. We are an e-learning program that is going to career path all of your hospitality needs. So I just want to make sure, Andrea, you can see my screen correct?
Yes, we're able to see the screen.
Perfect.
One more
Great.
thing too before we get started that I forgot to mention is if anybody has any questions, please feel free to add them in the chat, and I will be keeping an eye on that for Rebecca. Feel free to submit your questions at any time.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. Fantastic. So as I said, ServSuccess is a training and development program, and I'm here to talk about driving retention and specifically in the restaurant industry. And what we're going to walk through is an online training program with certification. And ServSuccess, like I said, is an e-learning program that's designed to accommodate everyone so that anyone, regardless of background, can grow in their career. It delivers modern and industry relevant content through online courses that can be taken anywhere at any time, which is great. So you can literally dial up on your phone, your iPad, your tablet, or your desktop. With ServSuccess, you can close skill gaps quickly and be like 42% of businesses who say that providing staff with online learning increased employee engagement by about 18% and actually improved revenue. And that's according to elearningindustry.com. So online training modules allow new hires to complete their training at their own pace, enabling them to revisit complex topics or skip over material that they're already familiar with. This also will increase engagement, which is really amazing because the first 90 days of our onboarding process is when we tend to lose employees the fastest. So we really want to ensure that they have this accessibility for the ability to engage, to come on board, and to be prepared. So let's dive on into some topics that I think are really important when it comes to talking about the industry and why e-learning and ServSuccess is so important for your establishment. So the cost of turnover is huge. And I always leave this blank in the beginning because I want you all, I know we're on a webinar, and feel free to throw some numbers at Andrea because I'm interested to see what you all think the cost of turnover is. Because I've seen a bunch of different numbers when I ask this question. So I'll give you all a minute. And Andrea, if anybody throws some numbers in the chat, feel free to throw them at me real quick. Give you all a second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and in the interest of time and just share those numbers with you. It's $5,864 for an hourly employee in a full service restaurant. So that can equate to about $146,000 annually that you're losing in revenue every time an employee churns. So when we talk about the challenges that we have when it comes to investing in training, that's a large number for just a churned employee. And so let's look at what that cost adds up to. So it's training and onboarding, right? Employee benefits. So when I talk about employee benefits, I'm not just talking about the healthcare we provide them or additional ancillary benefits. I'm talking about your SUTA, your FUTA, things of that nature.
You can listen.
As well. We're also looking at, I'm in Colorado, and for instance, we have an interesting benefit that came into play in legislation a couple of years ago. That's the Family Act, not FMLA. Essentially, you have to pay into it. So I pay into it, my employer pays into it. And let's say, heaven forbid, something happened to Andrea, I would get paid leave to go take care of my friend. So it's benefits like that you're paying into that equate to that cost. Uniforms and supplies, lost productivity. We also know that disengaged employees impact engaged employees and bring them down. So anytime we start to see an employee lose interest and they're disengaged and they're starting to churn, they can also bring our productive employees with them. Mistakes and errors, right? As we look at an employee churning or we're bringing on a new employee, obviously I've never made a mistake as a new employee. That comes into play. And then potential overtime. And these are just a few factors, right? As either we have an employee who's churned and we have one of our full-time employees, part-time employees that may have to stay additional hours in order to cover that shift, or training that new employee where they may have to take that overtime. So it's really crucial that we're paying attention to these numbers. And according to Daily Pay, when we look at this, when we really break down the numbers, pre-departure disengagement is about $176. Recruiting to fill the position is around $1,200. Selection for new hires is around $7. Orientation and training is about $800. And then that productivity, like I said, is about $3,000. So it's really a huge amount for a churned employee. And so we want to ensure that we're looking at the impact of this. Now, how can we help to, combat that? Well, career advancement and progression and a pathway to success. And here at the National Restaurant Association, this is what we're providing with ServSuccess. The industry includes a combination of both experience and expertise. And what we're looking at is certification and exams that we have designed to establish the bar of excellence for restaurant experience and knowledge at each career level. So we have our emerging roles, which is your cook, your host, your server, your cashier, really that emerging level of employee going into ready to step up, learning to lead, your assistant managers, KM shift leads, trainers, however you may label your employees, and then going into your restaurant manager, which is really the bread and butter of your establishment, right? So employees don't want to just be paid more. They want to feel like a valued member of the team. And with oversight on tangible impacts they're having on success of the business. So we want to offer them a path that includes succession planning, career progression. We may not always have a place for promotion, but we want to continue to progress them. We have employees that we may have a place that's available, but we may have employees who aren't ready. So how can we help to coach them to get them ready for that career promotion and continue that progression along the way? So with that, we have our ServSuccess learning paths. And e-learning is the quickest growing market in the education sector, both academically and in business. 42% of companies who use e-learning report an increase in revenue, and employees' preference for using e-learning lessons is about 58%. Because think about it, it's in their hands, it's easy to use, it's on their time. They can take this when they're sitting at home, when they're eating dinner, when they're sitting on a bike at the gym. It's very easy when they're done with their shift work and they've got some extra time left on their shift. It's easy for them to use. The other part of it is when an employee has acquired relevant skills from e-learning modules and lessons, it takes 45% less time than traditional in-person training, which means you can have more consistent training. So if you are, you're an owner, you're also the trainer, you're also doing a million things, you're wearing a million different hats, you're able to actually have consistent learning across the board and spend less time with that with your employees as well. So all of our courses, like I said, are available online. They're within the ServSuccess LMS. They can be accessed through your desktop, tablet, mobile devices, and they're aligned in the career pathways for industry. We focused on our training program on job roles and critical skills that are in the most demand across the industry to create our pathways. Now, these go from the restaurant professional mastering skills to supervisor, as I said, learning to lead, to manager who's driving the business for online learning resources. And they're designed to foster employee growth at all stages, which is really exciting. And, some things I'd really like to share is, and I'll get into this a little bit more, is 23% of our employees don't hold a high school diploma. They didn't get the opportunity to finish their education. So this is a great way to reward your employees and give them an education within your establishment. Examples of this is really providing the soup to nuts in training for a single or small group or individuals, and really setting the standard of consistency by having them take the same course or set of courses. And we're here to partner with you. I can help to guide you through what's best for your concept, whether it's just a few courses, one course, or the full gamut. We're very customizable. We show these here in the full suites, but we can really pull them apart and make them a la carte. They're used to fill in the gaps of what your brand training is, so that we can really blend everything to make it a full customized plan for you as you're growing your employees and you're creating that career path, but you want them to stay with you and grow within your establishment and your concept. So these are a big part of our resources that we have. And now we have leadership at each level. So these are the top courses at each level that we have. So in the professional, the basic business operations, that's our number one course there. Supervisor, leadership and communication, and manager, fundamentals of employee performance. That is my absolute favorite course. If you see me in person doing a breakout session or a workshop, this is something that I lean on because it carries so much weight with everything that we're seeing with management challenges. And I absolutely love it, which is why everyone on this webinar today is going to be getting a complimentary fundamentals of employee performance. And you'll get to reach out to me to get that course. My information will be at the end of this presentation. And also Andrea does have my contact information if you have to hop off early. And with that being said, the critical courses to strengthen leadership capabilities, again, basic business operations. You can also go to ServSuccess.com. I know these are kind of small. If you go into our shop side, this is where you can get more of the details. Please come to me directly. I'll dump into more where you can buy, but come to me directly because you'll get your discount through there. Leadership and communication. And then we have two really strong courses. Like I said, fundamentals of employee performance is number one. And then number two in our manager suite is managing the employment process. These courses really outline professional development. They look at cost control. They're really about developing your staff. The thing that we focus more on too is not just the skill set development, but the people development. And we're in a business where we're not just developing the skill set, we develop people. We have people who stay with us for life, who are in this industry for life. So we want to develop them at the core and really create people who are confident and proud to be with us or proud to do what they do. And that's why we've designed things like conflict resolution. We've designed mentorship programs, very much of these communication skills along the way, so that we have people who are successful and they're confident. Like, I keep using that word because it just is so much of what we're building along the way. And again, top sellers, we keep jumping into that leadership and communication, fundamentals of employee performance. I just want to drive these home because if you had to pick two things, these are the two that I would go with. These are the two courses that really help to hone in on some of the skills that we have challenges with when we have leadership training, and we seem to be missing in the market from what I'm seeing, which is why we've developed this to really focus in on our mid-tier to upper management leaders and continue to scale them. Something I talk about quite frequently is we continue to talk about growing our managers, but we need to continue to upskill our general managers and our regional managers and all of our top managers to continue to have mentorship programs and continue their growth so that they can continue to grow future leaders. So these courses are really great to support that as well. And so let's talk about the certification process. We have also developed industry recognized certifications that are available at each level. I'm really excited about this because these are from the National Restaurant Association, and they really help to support company goals for team members. They align with the training modules. They validate existing knowledge and competencies, and they give employees, like I said, a sense of accomplishment and pride. And you all can add the prospect of a professional certification to the array of benefits to attract candidates. So think about when I was talking about benefits, and it's not just health benefits, right? We talk about financial health. We talk about a bunch of different other validating benefits. This is one of them. And this is something that is supported by us. So certifications demonstrate an investment by operators in their employees and their career potential. So this is something that's really exciting that we do offer as well. So feel free to reach out to me too with more questions. And so we're going to drive into the website a little bit. And before I directly hop into the website, I'm going to give you some little tips. So for those of you who have been in the website and kind of played around with it, it's a little confusing when you first get in because there's managed products, there's my learning and exams. The first thing you want to do is go into my account and then go into my learning and exams. And that's where you immediately launch your account to take your learning. And from there, when you assign courses, you're going to go into your main account and go to manage products and then choose to assign. We have a couple different ways to do that. You can assign to groups, you can create a link, and you can also transfer products. So you can transfer them out to a group of people. So if you have a couple different locations and you would like to have one of your regionals or another manager really just fully manage it, you can push that out. You can create a link that you just send out to your team. They just click on it. It sends them out to it, be assigned. Or you can easily just take an Excel format and just assign it to your full team. And then I'm going to actually switch this over real quick and jump into the website itself. Andrea, just a quick question. Are you able to see the website up?
Yes, it's up.
Okay, perfect. Sometimes we have to stop sharing depending on which platform we're on. So I'm just going to use my NRA ServSuccess demo for fun here. If you need to create a new account, it's pretty simple. You just go in to create an account. You'll start with your email address and submit it, and then it'll ask you a few questions. It does need to authenticate the account, so you'll get a code. Please always check your junk mail. If you don't receive that code, please reach out to me directly. I can have that authenticated for you. So we'll log in here. And sometimes it does take a few minutes if this is your first time jumping in. So bear with the website, or not a few minutes, a few seconds. So this is where all of your information lies. And you can also go on the side here to my learning exams, or you can also do your drop down. And so I'm going to go to my learning exams first. And because this is my demo course, I actually don't have any new learnings in here, but they would be sitting under my courses where I would hit launch. But to manage my products, this is really where things can be a little bit more challenging. And this is generally where I get most questions. So this is where we can go into the assigning space. And as you saw in there too, there's a button to unassign. So something I do want to touch on, if you have an employee who you've assigned to who has not started the course, you can actually unassign that if they do leave your restaurant, which is great because you're not having to have them take it with them. Unfortunately, if they do start it, there's no way to unassign it after that. But we are able to unassign it if it has not been started. These courses also are good for a year, and they're good for 6 months once they're started. If you have any challenges with that, please reach out to me directly. We can work to see if we need something expanded if somebody started something a little late. So when we go into assign a group, you can go ahead and it'll just check off, are they in a valid format? The users don't already have the product. For instance, if you send out a link and somebody forwards the link again to their buddy who already has the course, it won't let them double take it. So you can just either choose a file, so you can have an Excel file, or you can copy between 5 and 492 emails in there. If you're looking to unassign, I can actually go in here and hit I'm not going to unassign because I need to have these people have these courses, but you can unassign right there and it'll actually unassign there. You can send reminders if your team has not started their courses to kind of poke them to remind them to take the course as well. And then with more assigning, I really like to create a link. I do this a lot for my clients if I'm sending something out to them to push to their franchisees or to their employees. I can just create that link. We're going to just do this as a test. That's the name of my link. You can set the limit to however many you want up to the amount of products you have. And that you can create a start date or an end date, but you don't have to. You can also have them require an approval. And then the nice thing is you can also create segments. So if you have different concepts within your concept or different brands, you can do that as well. I'm not going to do that today. But you can set all of that out and then you would just click link is active. I have read to the terms and create the link. And then it's ready to go. All you have to do then is go back into your link area, copy it and send it out. And we're going to just go ahead and continue there. One thing I do want to show you is reporting. That's one of the larger questions that we get is how can I see if my employees have taken or started their learning? So you go back into my learning and exams. And I always say the little hamburger bun up at the top here. That's where you could go into your buyer's report. And with that, there's a bunch of different courses that you can look at. You can either view the details on their own and see when they started it or did not start it, or you can actually export it into an Excel file. And we are working on reformatting this currently, but the Excel file, it will show you an active or withdrawn, which will show you if they've taken it, started it. Over here on the completion, they've not started yet, but it would show you what they have, when they started it, the end date, the last time they visited, what the product was, and you can clean up some of this stuff. This is for our internal keying so that we can, if we have an issue, we can send the key ID to our team to support that. But it's pretty simplified when you actually just go in and hit here to see who started, who's finished it. And again, as you come on board, I always do a consult with you so I can walk you through all of this in a one-on-one as well. So with that, do I have any questions before I dive back into the rest of the presentation? Okay. We'll hop back in here. And we just went through the reporting, but as a reminder, for all of you who like to take screenshots of things, and also Andrea can absolutely share this with you as well. And again, I'm here as a resource to my learning exams, to the buyer's report, either download the summary or you can highlight it in there. And then how to purchase. Come to me directly. You all will receive your PRLA discount that is 20% off. I do offer pilot opportunities too. So if you're looking to kind of do a try before you buy and you want to have specific employees kind of try this out depending on the size of the concept, and we want to do a couple different courses, we can absolutely look at that. And that does come at a 30% discount for the pilots. And as I said, you all will be receiving the fundamentals of employee performance today. This is my contact information, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And thank you so much for your time today. I think we've hit right just about at the mark with time for a few questions.
Yes, so Rebecca, there is a question in the chat. Donna asked, as well as providing one-on-one with the business, do you offer trainings on using the software?
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to make sure that you're comfortable with it. So we can absolutely walk through the software and make sure that it's, and Donna, let me just clarify, did you mean for your individual team or for you as the owner or decision maker?
She said the owner.
Yep, absolutely. And we can do a big team training if we need to, but as the owner, absolutely.
You're wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca. And I also had a couple of follow-up questions. I know that you mentioned you can purchase either a suite or you can purchase certain courses to fit your needs. So what is the average cost of a course? Because, you know, thinking from a business owner mindset, how much
Yeah.
investment and so on. So what is the average cost of, say, a suite or an individual course?
So these will vary. So in the professional suite, these are before your discount, because your discount's 20%. These are 20, 40, and 75 per course. These full suites are 90, 180, and then 675. And again, that is prior to discount. So keep that in mind. And again, we can kind of create suites. I do something unique that if we end up kind of blending in where we're ending up doing, you know, 5 that essentially make up a suite, I'll honor the discount of what the suite discount would have been. So we can get kind of creative with things, but essentially keep that 20, 40, 75 based upon those different courses. And then the 90, 180, and 675.
Okay, wonderful. So it's, you know, it's very much affordable. PRLA members, as Rebecca mentioned, do get a 20% discount on their purchases. To purchase ServSuccess, Rebecca mentioned it during her presentation, you would have to reach out to her. If you don't have her contact information, you can definitely reach out to me and I can make that connection. I'm also going to add Rebecca's email to the chat. If you have any questions. And Alexandra said, could you please put the prices in the chat? So there's different prices for all the courses, right? And also the suites, but let's see, on average, I don't know if Rebecca, you can note me.
Yeah, let me
Average.
see if I can. I think there's a way for me to, I don't know if there's a way for me to, let me see, guys. I'm going to try to get technical here. If I can upload a price list into here, and I think I can. So it's just, and it's not no secret, so I'm not sharing anything that's a surprise to the world. We're very, very transparent with pricing. So let me just get into, let's see here. Yep, and please keep in mind, this is our retail price list. So that does not include your discount, but all of the prices are listed in there.
Perfect. So those prices are before the 20% off for,
yes.
for PRLA members. Okay,
yep.
Wonderful. We have another question from Caroline. She asked, what is the average length of time to complete each course?
That is a great question. I had a feeling, Caroline, that that was coming. So give me 1 second here, and I am going to pull up. It varies on the courses on each suite because we add more content into the different levels, but I do have that. So for instance, the professional is about 45 minutes per course. The reason is we have a bunch of different modules in each of the courses, and as you go into, perfect, here we go, as you go into each different length, they get a little bit longer. So for instance, oops, that's the customer service suite. Give me 1 second. Pulling up the wrong one. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for the restaurant professional, you have 5 courses, which include 24 different modules between all of these courses. So it's about 4 hours total between all of these. The supervisor is 5 courses with 34 modules. It's about 5 hours total for all the courses. And then the restaurant manager is 10 courses with 75 modules, so about 15 hours. Now, again, they can dive in, start and stop. Each module has a stopping place, and they have a 5-question quiz at the end of it. They can take that quiz as many times as they want. The other thing I will add in is once they complete each course, they do get, and that's a full course, not just the module, they will get a certificate. And I will pull one up to show you. That looks like that. So they can actually have a certificate of completion as well, to show, yay, I've done it. Here, boss, I've completed. I'm excited. I'm going to put it on my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, something that they can continue to move on. They will get one for every course they complete. And then they're broken down. I can do a quick show of this kind of in this format. So for instance, with front of the house service and communication, after the hospitality, customer service, and teamwork, they'd have a quick quiz. Then moving on, so you can really break them into specific modules within each course.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I think, that's something to consider. I think if a person is not diving into a full suite and diving into individual courses, it takes less than an hour sometimes to complete a course. So, and it's very convenient because it's all online. And there's a plus of the certificate of completion. As you mentioned, everybody can add that to their resume, their portfolio, etc. So that's an extra benefit. I also had one more question for you, Rebecca. I know that you interact with a lot of operators and business owners and managers and so on. So in your conversations with them, what do you think is, in their opinion, the best use for ServSuccess, or how do they find this tool useful for them the most?
That's a great question, Andrea. So I have 2 different sides that I've really seen. One is really that gap in upskilling the managers, where you're going from buddy to boss, and that challenge, right, where you've got that team member who just is really stepping up to lead, but they've been so close to their team and getting into that next level. That's a really great use of this, and then really pushing them into that manager level. Like, this has really taken off to scale them. I've seen a huge success with that. And that goes from single unit operators. I've got a gentleman up in Duluth who is all about the manager suite and scaling his managers from that, and then also using that supervisor level to push into that. And then I have another gal who uses it for her teenagers, because she uses just literally, I think it's front of the house communication actually, for her 16-year-olds who come in. They work maybe 3 days a week to teach them guest service. And she's teaching them, how to greet customers, how to, engage with each other. And so you're seeing a couple different levels of it. And so here you've got, teaching these kids really how to start building self-confidence and engage. And we've been in such a screen mode since 2020 that a lot of them didn't have that interaction, during that key time. And so she's really using it to start having them learn that skill set again, or learn it in general. And it's been really beneficial to her. And then again, I've got Tom, who's using it to really just push his managers up and upscale. Another great use that I've seen is really that conflict resolution and mentor side of things, that we haven't had a good conflict resolution kind of platform in there, because it really wasn't something that we did in the industry up until the last few years. Honestly, we just kind of like pushed that aside. So I'm seeing those few directions that it's been really useful in. And it really excites me when she was telling me what she was doing with the kids. That just melts my heart, because that's what I love. What we're doing is we're, again, building people and teaching them a skill set that's so important. And she wants to prepare them, even if they go off to college and they go and do something else. She's like preparing them for the world. And so those are some key things that I've seen it used in.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with you. That's the future of our industry if they decide to go into it. So, learning those basic skills are definitely important.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that someone is using this product as, such a big tool for that. So that's wonderful. Are there any other questions from the attendees? Let's see, I just want to, before we wrap up, I just want to give everybody the opportunity to submit a question if they have one. But in the meantime, like I said, there was, I copied Rebecca's email address in the chat. Feel free to reach out to her with any questions. She's wonderful answering every question that you have, walking you through the process. She'll show you how to use the platform, anything you may need. She's always there, and she replies so very fast, and I always appreciate her. Let's see.
And don't forget, there's that free course, Fundamentals of Employee Performance, and it's out of the manager suite. So you guys are getting a heck of a deal. It's a $75 course. But again, it's my favorite course. And you also get that certificate. Or if you're not going to use it, you can gift it to somebody. So take advantage of it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for providing that free course for our attendees. I know that everybody, once they try it, they will enjoy it, and hopefully they'll find it useful for their businesses. Let's see, there was a question here. I'm sorry if it was answered already, but are there course summaries of each course? Yes, there are summaries of each course. And as a follow-up to this webinar too, I will send out a communication, and I will attach Rebecca's information along with other useful flyers such as course content, summaries of suites and things like that, maybe the price list that Rebecca had shared with us, just so that everybody has all the documents they need to read through about ServSuccess. Let's see. Oh, so disregard. Excellent presentation. Thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Rebecca's wonderful. Like I said, she's always willing to help us with anything. So if nobody has any other questions, I would like to thank Rebecca for her time and everybody for attending this webinar. I hope that it was useful to you. As I mentioned, I will share additional information on ServSuccess. We value this tool very much at the PRLA because, as Rebecca mentioned, it can be used for upskilling current workers. It can be used for the new talent and developing those soft skills that are needed. And so we hope you found this useful, and I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.
Thank you all.